It is a good morning. All right, guys. So as you can see, we're back and we're starting off this new account. So last week, of course, I pretty much gambled the last 400 because I was really demotivated. I didn't want to trade that after I hit max loss. And we are starting off the new account on a good note. So as you can see, today we have made $600 and obviously it's not as much as I hoped for, but we're going to remain patient. It's the first day of the account, so we have a whole month to trade it. And let's just get into what happened today. So I had some analysis in the pre-AM, but I had to drive my mom to the doctor. So I couldn't really capitalize off of this, but there also wasn't an entry anyways, so it doesn't really matter. And then we managed to catch a nice clean scalp. So let me show you what we have here. So first of all, for 15-minute chart, we had this fair value gap drawn out to see if price wouldn't stay above it. And as you can see, ultimately it did not. But at first it did. And then on the lower time frames, there were some fair value gaps leading into these equal highs over here. And my analysis was, well, maybe we're going to go up here and take these equal highs. So that didn't actually happen. The highs were not taken, but I was not even on the charts at this point. This was at 9:30. I don't like to take trades before or at 9:30 unless they're like really obvious, really clear with tight stops. But here it gets very volatile, so I don't want to open myself up to that much risk on such a small account since I'm not interested in trading micros. And so yeah, it didn't take these highs. It did take this high. So if you were really aggressive, you could have shorted up here if you had a strong conviction that price would go down. It tapped this real quick before going down. I was looking at this fair value gap to see if it didn't want to support it since it set up the equal highs. But we are in more of a bearish trend right now because we made this high over here with a fair value gap and it held, and now we're breaking down further and it's holding bearish order flow. So you could have made the case that we are in a bearish trend, but I like to be really safe and have really obvious targets and small swings that can potentially go in one 5-second swing. So for example, I would not want to be holding from here to here for 6 minutes going against me. So my trades are really managed on the 5-second chart, and as soon as the order flow switches, I'm not interested in it anymore. I really want to be selling in premium and buying in discount. So let's look at what I actually traded after 9:30. This is when I hopped onto the charts at about 9, right here. When I saw this chopping around, I was like, okay, interesting. So it held this fair value gap, but this was really wide. And it made another displacement over here. So this is actually the fair value gap that I shorted. Of course, I waited for a 5-second displacement and retracement. That's my setup. My setup is waiting for the 1 minute to show me something and then waiting for the 5-second to align with it so I can enter. And then if it moves in my favor, I can move my stops to break even and in profit really quickly. So as you can see, it is continuing to go down, but at this point it's in pretty big discount. It took one low, another low, another low. So 600 for one day is nice, and let's continue to practice discipline, since last week what ruined me is just taking too many trades in one day, and I've already made profit. I would really not be happy if I lost that profit today, especially because it's already moved so much. And yeah, so let's get into the actual trades I took. This is what I traded. I'll show you the executions on here. So I was trying to trade this fair value gap. I was trying to short it, but actually, so the account I blew last week has not been like canceled, or like I canceled it, but it's not been deactivated yet. So I was actually still on that account. So by the time I switched to the proper account, it had already gone down here, but I still shorted it. And then when it moved down here, I moved my stop and it came back up. So this first trade was a winner. You know, it's pretty much break even. I also only sold it on one contract because it was already down here when my entry happened. So if I had gotten the entry up here, I would have moved my stops to break even and then moved at least one of my stops into like deeper profit, but that didn't happen. So we're just gonna, you know, observe this trade and talk about the next ones, which did win. So here there was some 15-second, I think. Where did it go? No. Okay. I think there might have been 1 minute. Yep. So here, the first time, it fully filled in this fair value gap. I was like, okay, I'm ready to short it. It was showing signs of reversal, and I shorted it. Took one stop. It came back all the way up here. Bodies closed within the fair value gap. So I got stopped out, but that's okay. My stops are tight. My risk is managed. And I was ready to short it again, which is exactly what I did. So once it came up here, uh, it didn't come back to any of these fair value gaps. It came back to this fair value gap, but it had just taken out lows. So I really don't like taking setups for short after it's taken equal lows, because sometimes you see this and it takes the lows and it wants to go all the way back up here and then go down. So I was really trying to make sure that the order flow was still bearish after taking these lows. So it held this fair value gap and then it made lower lows. So basically I was looking at this wick. So this was a really nice wick. And as soon as it closed below consequent encroachment on the next candle, I was short two contract, or actually no, I was short one contract and then I pyramided in one more over here because yeah, I just wanted to, you know, manage my positions, manage my emotions. I didn't want to have this big retracement because my stop was all the way up here. So I didn't want to see all of this on two contracts and blow my account like on the first day of trading it. So I shorted one over here at the open of this candle. Once this closed below consequent encroachment, it retraced a little bit. My stop was up here somewhere, didn't get hit. And then there's another fair value gap, and I shorted this again. It made some higher highs, higher highs, higher highs, grinding up, and then it broke down. So as soon as it broke down like this, I moved my stop to here because I was like, okay, if it comes, sweeps this and goes back up, I'm not interested anymore. So my stop management was pretty good on this trade. And then, yeah, it ran in our favor. So my profits, I hadn't actually really set my profits yet. I just had analysis that it would go lower. So because there's this low and it was getting really close to it and it was showing bearish order flow. So I was assuming that it would go down here after it didn't take these highs and it broke down under the fair value gaps and stuff. So yeah, this was technically supposed to be my first partial, but I shorted here and that would have been here. So ultimately, I did get my partial off under that. But yeah, this was not optimal, right? Because I didn't want to take my partial under here because this range is kind of small. This would have been like, yeah, 10, 15 points. I mean, that's basically what it ended up being anyways, almost 20 points. And I missed all of this. There is an argument to be made that I could have trailed my second partial lower, but since I'm trading two contracts, first one comes off and second one just stays at a nice in profit stop and gives us a free look into lower prices, because I did also have this low marked out and I didn't expect it to go all the way in one move because I'm on the 5-second chart. So this is 15-minute right now. Let's see. Look, this was the first low, this is the second low, and I just graded that price swing. And I wanted to take off my partial maybe at 50% or something. But we got stopped out in profit. And then it's just in discount. So like it's all the way down here. So I don't want to try and guess if it's going to retrace or not. Probably not. But 600 is enough for one day. And we're going to keep nice and cool. And we're not going to overtrade this time. So yeah, one slightly rushed trade, which was not, I mean, it was well thought out. It aligned with my analysis. But yeah, the switching the accounts thing didn't let me get two contracts off over here. So then I couldn't partial, and then we got stopped out pretty much at break even. And then yeah, one stop up here. This stop is okay. I don't mind this stop. It was a good entry. 5 second fair value gap right here. I put my stop above the volume imbalance, and there were equal lows ready to be hit. So this could have worked out, but it didn't. It went up one more time, and then it broke down finally. Came back under here, and then it went down. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Nice and short, starting off the account on a good note. And I'll see you guys soon.